Mechanism of breathing. Breathing involves two steps. First step is inspiration or inhalation, during which atmospheric air is drawn in. And the second step is expiration or exhalation, by which the alveolar air is released out. Now the movement of air into and out of the lungs is carried by creating a pressure gradient between the lungs and the atmosphere. Inspiration can occur if the pressure within the lungs, that is called intrapulmonary pressure, is less than the atmospheric pressure. Similarly, expiration takes place when the intrapulmonary pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure. Inspiration is initiated by the contraction of diaphragm, which increases the volume of thoracic chamber in the anterior-posterior axis. So diaphragm is a muscular partition that separates thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. Here is the location of diaphragm shown that separate thoracic cavity from abdominal cavity. Observe and try to understand. Now the diaphragm and specialized set of muscles, namely external and internal intercostal muscles between the ribs, help in generation of such gradients. Here you can see the location of diaphragm as well as ribs, and the location of internal and external intercostal muscle between the ribs also try to understand. Once again, inspiration is initiated by the contraction of diaphragm, which increases the volume of thoracic chamber in the anterior-posterior axis. So here the diaphragm contracted location, position shown, ribs and sternum raised, as well as the volume of thorax is increased in the anterior-posterior location. The contraction of external intercostal muscles lift up the ribs and sternum, causing an increase in the volume of the thoracic chamber in the dorsoventral axis. So the increase in thoracic volume causes an increase in pulmonary volume. So as you all know, if volume increases, pressure decreases. So here an increase in pulmonary volume decreases the intrapulmonary pressure to less than the atmospheric pressure, which forces the air from outside to move into the lungs. That is inspiration or inhalation, during which atmospheric air is drawn in. Now, relaxation of the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles returns the diaphragm and sternum to their normal positions and reduce the thoracic volume and thereby the pulmonary volume. Here is the diaphragm relaxed state shown, ribs and sternum return to their original position and volume of thorax is decreased. So this leads to an increase in intrapulmonary pressure to slightly above the atmospheric pressure, which causes an expulsion of air from the lungs, that is expiration. This picture shows the diaphragm function in breathing. Here you can see a beautiful structure of diaphragm once again. Observe. On an average, a healthy human breathes 12 to 16 times per minute. The volume of air involved in breathing movements can be estimated by using a spirometer, which helps in clinical assessment of pulmonary functions. Hope you understood the concept well.